Welcome to In Her Voice. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am passionate about helping women live authentically by listening to their inner voice. Get ready to be inspired by women of all walks of life that have set aside their should-bes and not good enoughs and are standing in their true voice, the voice of wisdom that each and every one of us has inside. Hello, everyone. Welcome to In Her Voice. This is episode 25, and I am Kelly Covert, and I am so excited that you are joining me here today. Thank you so much for pressing play. And I have a funny story to tell you because this episode was going to be about fear, but something has recently come up for me that I'm just feeling so strongly about. My inner voice is really saying to me, this is something that you need to share. So I listen to my inner voice, as I encourage all of you to listen to your inner voice. And so that's what I'm going to do. So the next episode, or my next solo episode next week, will be on fear. It's going to be a good one. But today, what I'm going to be talking about with you guys is eating as deep work. And you're like, what, Kelly? What you talking about? So we all know what eating is. And when I talk about deep work, what I'm talking about is that deep inner work that gets us connected with our wisdom, that gets us connected with our higher self, that gets us connected with our inner voice. And you might be thinking, well, what does eating have to do with your inner voice? Isn't this a podcast about that? And oh my goodness, I think that eating is probably one of the things that is most intimately tied to our inner voice. And I really feel that our inner voice speaks to us in many ways. And one of those ways is through our body. I know for me, when I am eating the way my body is asking me to eat, then my body feels the way that I want it to feel. And it tells me that the food that you fed me today made me feel good. And it also tells me that the food that you fed me today did not make me feel good. You know, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys here. This is an area of my life where I have felt struggle. I have felt struggle, not just once upon a time, but like for a really long time and continuing still lately. I notice for me, especially in the summer when my kids are home, when I'm feeling a little bit more stressed out or that I have more on my plate, my eating doesn't feel aligned with what my soul is asking of me to feed it. Up until really just a few days ago, no matter what I said about eating or my intention of eating, for example, I would say it's really important for me to eat so I'm healthy. It's really important for me to eat in a certain way because I have a family history of type 2 diabetes and I want to protect myself from that. And I think on one level, that was very true for me. I absolutely believed that. But in the deepest part of my heart, in the truth-telling part of my heart, I feel that for as long as I can remember, eating has been tied to how much I weigh. And this is real talk, and I have to be honest, this is not something that I'm still 100% comfortable with sharing, because I feel that in many ways I've been out of my integrity with eating. Because I absolutely believe that everybody is beautiful. I absolutely believe that the number on a scale does not define our worth. I believe that with my whole heart. I absolutely 100% believe that dieting as a way of life is not how we were meant to live. And I know that up until really just the past couple of days, deep down inside, everything that I put into my mouth, whether I would label it good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, the underlying purpose of that has been to manage my weight or help me lose weight. Or if I wasn't doing one of those things, it was not aligned with that purpose, if that makes any sense. So if I was eating things that weren't helping me manage or lose weight, then I would feel guilty about that, quite frankly. Gosh, it's been a long journey for me, and I eat healthy, but sometimes I don't. And I think what's more important is that my relationship with food has been so centered around my body image and around what I weigh that I haven't actually realized until recently how powerful, how much more powerful food can be for my life. And so I started to sit with this idea of eating as deep work. So I might think of meditation as deep work, or journaling as deep work, or self-care as deep work. All of those things I think of as deep work. Those are the things that are taking me in and connecting me to my wisdom. But never in my life have I thought of eating as deep work. Really what prompted me to this thought is I was talking with my dear friend, Stephanie Dodd, who is a healer and a coach, and we are confidants. And oh my gosh, I just love this woman. You should definitely go check out her website, Stephanie Hope Dodd. It's amazing. But we were talking the other day about this idea that are we eating for our business? Are we eating to be a good parent? Are we eating to be a good partner? Are we eating to be able to access our fullest potential? And that's what really got me on this path of thinking of eating as deep work, right? It totally shifted for me my relationship with food. And you've heard me say a lot that it's never a one and done thing, that things are practices and that we work on them over and over and over again. And I 100% believe that. But really, you guys, for me, this has been like a lightning bolt going off in my mind. I mean, I feel like my brain has exploded and my heart feels so full of understanding and compassion for the struggle that I've had with eating. And then also there's so much excitement and gratitude there for now being able to approach this in a completely new and, for me, revolutionary way. Oh my goodness. So it's been 3 days that I've really been sitting in this idea and tapping into what my body is asking me for, tapping into the messages that my body is sending me about what I'm eating and the results that that's producing in my business, the results that that is producing in my parenting, just in how my mind is working. I feel clearer. I feel more connected. I feel more able to connect with my kids. It is phenomenal, you guys. And I just thought, surely I am not the only one who would benefit from this idea that eating can become for us more than just fuel for our bodies, but it is deep nourishment for our soul. We are giving our soul what it's asking for. And I really believe that when I'm aligned in that way, that, whoa, I'm already feeling the magnetism of that. I'm already feeling the excitement of that in my energy. My energy is different. And another thing that really brought me to this realization that something needed to shift for me, that I really needed to put my attention on this issue in my life, was that I noticed over the past few weeks, and many of you know that I keep a bullet journal and I also have a practice tracker for each month. And I set goals for myself. And this month, my goals were really to be goals. And so the goal that I set for myself around eating was I wanted to be intentional with my eating. It was really interesting because for the first half of the month, I had some days where I was very intentional, but then I had other days where I wasn't. what I noticed was, regardless of what else I was accomplishing in my life, regardless of how well things were going in my life in other areas, if I wasn't aligned with my eating, I felt like everything was off. Everything. I first started to pay attention to that because I felt like I was in a funk. And, at the end of the week, I sort of have a reflection of what has happened that week, what I've accomplished, what I've put out into the world, so to speak, in showing up, in being who I am. And what I noticed is, even though I felt like I wasn't putting a lot out there, I still was. And the only thing that was off was my eating. Yet that affected my view of how everything else was going. And I thought, if just that one piece can affect my whole perspective of how things are going in my life, of how I'm feeling about what I'm doing and who I'm being, that's something that I need to pay attention to. That's exactly what I decided to do. And the first step for me was setting up some accountability. So my friend Stephanie, I reached out to her and I said I could really use some accountability in this. And she said, me too. So we set up a little touch-in system for ourselves to use where we were letting each other know how the day went and how our emotions were feeling through the day in regards to food, in regards to the specific things that we were eating. And that's when, number one, I started really eating more greens, eating more vegetables, eating more fresh fruit, eating things that are really nourishing to me, and also not eating if I wasn't hungry. Not having a Starbucks just because I happen to be meeting someone at Starbucks, because I didn't really want it. Really starting to pay attention to this idea of, what is my body asking me for? What does my body need in this moment to be nourished, to be fed? What is my body asking me to do with the food? And so that has become my deep work this week. And it has been amazing, you guys. It has been amazing. And I think that the beauty of this is no one food in this scenario becomes bad. There's nothing that's off the table. Here's a perfect example. Tomorrow I'm taking my kids down to the lake. My in-laws have a little camp on Cayuga Lake, which is one of the Finger Lakes in New York. It's so beautiful. So we're going down there for the day. It's going to be a beautiful day. And one of our traditions is when we go down to the lake, we stop at Cayuga Lake Creamery on the way home and we get some ice cream. And you guys, this ice cream is like amazing. It's all homemade. They have so many cool flavors and it's all made with local ingredients. It's beautiful. And I love going there for so many reasons. It brings me great joy. I love watching my kids enjoy it. And we sit under the trees and you get the point, right? And so I was thinking about, okay, I have this accountability thing set up. I'm really eating as deep work. How does ice cream fit into that? And that's when I have to sit with it and see, is this something that I'm doing because I'm feeling like I need a fix, a sugar fix? Or is this something that I'm doing because I know it brings me great joy and I know it brings my kids joy? And I can be in that moment with them and enjoy that and really taste every bite of whatever flavor that I choose. And it becomes, in a way, a meditation for me. That to me feels so empowering and so exciting to really dig into the why of what I'm eating. And so that's why I'm calling this eating as deep work. What would happen if we start to invite in this idea that the food that we're putting into our bodies every single day, that we need to put into our bodies every single day, is another vehicle for us to be more connected with our inner voice, to be more connected with our deep wisdom? Isn't that so cool? I hope I'm not the only one totally amazed by this. Maybe this has been something that everyone else has been getting all along, but I'm telling you, I feel like I have been converted or something. Like I can't even explain to you how excited I am to finally understand. I feel like I finally understand how food needs to work in my life. And I just really felt like I wanted to share that with you guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for opening this space to me to be able to share this with you. And if this is something that really resonated with you, please share. Please share. You can click the little share button in your podcast app, or, send it as a text to your girlfriends, to your moms, to your sisters, anyone who you know that might really benefit from hearing this. And I so appreciate you sharing, because you guys are here, because you are sharing. That's what makes In Her Voice possible. So thank you for all that you're doing. And if you are loving this podcast and you're coming back to it week after week and you're really getting value, I would ask you to join with me. Join with me in being a supporter of In Her Voice. You can donate $1 a month. You could donate $10 a month. Whatever you feel like you're getting out of this, you can put back into it. And that's going to help me cover my costs for the podcast and also really have broader reach. And that's my goal. My goal is to reach as many women as I can and get them on the worthy train. Right, sisters? You know what I am talking about. So if you are interested in becoming a worthy crusader and supporting me and In Her Voice, you can head over to my Patreon page at kellycovert.com/together. And it's super easy to pick the monthly donation that you want to donate to. And I so appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. As always, you guys, I want to remind you that each and every one of you has access to your inner voice. And there is so much wisdom there. It's a well that is so deep. We can never hit the bottom of it. There's always something there for us to learn. And I really encourage you to tap into that, whether it be with eating as your deep work, journaling, meditating, going for a walk, moving your body, being still, connecting with your breath, whatever is the way that you can access that deep wisdom. I encourage you to get down into it, because you never know what you might discover that will change your life. Always remember, you matter. You are important, and we need you showing up in this world as fully you.